Hi, I'm Melissa from SoGoSurvey. We're working our way through a series on human resources forms aimed at automating your processes and improving hiring, and hopefully improving your life a little bit too. Let's take a look today at the candidate quiz. So we've already covered in parts 1 and 2 the application form and the screening form. So you're narrowing down to your most qualified candidates. So now we're getting down to the details of what's required with a candidate quiz. So if you've never thought about this before, if you've never encountered one before, the goal, of course, of the hiring process is to fill the position with the most qualified candidate. And there are only so many questions you can ask in person. There are only so many things you can find on someone's resume. Sometimes you might need a good test, a good quiz, and be able to test the skills that you're looking for, check their knowledge, and also see a score so you're able to compare one candidate to another. Of course, we all want to simplify processes, and we know that HR forms can hopefully make your life a little bit easier, and the candidate quizzes allow the candidates themselves to help you make those decisions. So a few suggestions to think about: getting focused on what matters most, really narrowing it down, because you certainly don't want to stress anyone out too much, maybe a little bit, but not too much with an extended quiz, and also know exactly what you're looking for, so you'll know when you found it in your results. So getting focused, really important to think about the qualifications, the requirements of this position so that all of your questions are relevant. It's really nice to be able to have easy to score questions, or sometimes it's more fun to have kind of random questions in there just to balance things out. But the reality is you don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste anyone else's time. So keep focused on questions that match the requirement of the position. Again, narrow it down a little bit. Super long tests are fine maybe for exams of, a course or something like that, but it might not play the right role here. You want to set up, again, that positive experience in general, that people have a good feeling about you and your organization. Also, set a timer might be something to think about, not for stress, but to keep it fair, so we know that people aren't, hopefully looking up answers or, consulting outside resources or taking it multiple times. So a lot of those things that you want to keep in mind just to keep it fair. Finally, know what you're looking for. Your questions really have to be matched to the skill set that you're looking for. If you're looking for people who can just pick a solution that's presented to them, which solution is the best, A, B, or C, that's fine. In real life, however, most of us need to have those problem-solving skills that we can create those solutions ourselves. So that's a really important distinction. Of course, it's easy and nice to score a multiple choice kind of question, but the reality is life is not always multiple choice. Life requires us to come up with our own solutions sometimes. And if this is a position in which people are going to be asked to use critical thinking skills, it might be really important to ask them some of those questions. Maybe not all of them. You probably need some technical questions as well too, but really useful to be able to have some of those skills that match up with the job qualification. Also, if there are any sort of clues or soft skills that you want to uncover about their personality, it might be useful to ask some of those related questions too. So keeping that in mind, once you've figured out exactly what you want to ask, editing is a really big one depending on the role. Certainly very simple, choose the correct example or examples from a series of sentences. In technical skills, you might be asking which of these HTML codes will make a word bold, for example. If you're testing about a specific subject, because it's really important, you might ask, what is HIPAA? Which of these definitions match correctly with what HIPAA is requiring? Critical thinking, again, you could have analogies, you could have problem solving at the bottom here. So again, depending on the kinds of skills that you're trying to test, ask the right kinds of questions and provide the right kinds of answer options, if any, to make sure you're testing exactly what you've set out to test. Finally, online quiz tools, of course. We have a strong opinion that those are probably a good idea. Of course, we have our own online quiz tool, and we offer a lot of options that are going to help automate these processes for you. So the right question type, setting a timer, categorizing content. So again, if you have technical skills versus problem solving, for example, you can check out on the back end how your candidates are scoring. Automate some of that scoring. Show them their scores upon completion, either the raw score by category or percentage, for example. Send automatic alerts to yourself, whether someone's completed it or if they've achieved a certain score, and even send those instant thank you messages to your participants. So it's really a lot of options that you can have here, but of course, remember the goal is really to find your perfect candidate. So not to stress them out too much along the way, but to find out if they're a good match and they have the skills that you need for this position. Next up, we're going to be looking at the post-interview evaluation form. But in the meantime, you can check out a little bit more about our quiz tool here. You can visit us on our YouTube channel as well and find out lots of other elements of these tools as well too. But very exciting stuff, the candidate quiz today. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're always happy to have you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, you can connect with us on social media at SoGoSurvey or visit our website, SoGoSurvey.com. See you next time.